در قسمت‌های پیشین.
The evidence for a Hitler landing in Argentina is very strong.
Hitler had met with a Nazi associate by the name of Fritz Mandl.
He used to own an ammunition factory.
So he was making arms while he was here?
He may very well be pursuing this Fourth Reich. This French agent, he had seen a large radio station near the hotel in Brazil.
You cannot start the Fourth Reich without communications.
There was to be held at the Grand Hotel a ballet, and one man attending was definitely Hitler.
I have something.
Where?
There's an advertisement for a ballet.
And that's the performance he saw Hitler at?
This is getting good.
رد پای هیتلر.
Anytime a high-value target gets up and moves, it's either safety or he's going operational. And I think what we can say here is that Hitler, at this point, has gone operational. And it was a matter of finding an opportunity to come back.
کارشناس CIA باب بر و محقق جنایات جنگی جانسن سج با استفاده از صدها گزارش افشا شده رد احتمالی هیتلر را در آوریل 1945 از پناهگاه زیرزمینی‌اش در برلین دنبال می‌کنند. یافته‌های آنها نشان داده است که هیتلر در عرض 2 سال هزاران کیلومتر را تا آرژانتین پیموده و به آرامی از آمریکای جنوبی گذشته تا بالاخره به شهر کوچکی در برزیل رسیده است. بنابر یکی از گزارشات FBI، او در آنجا در نزدیکی یک ایستگاه قدرتمند رادیویی دیده شده است.
If Hitler was there, and there's military-like antennas in the area, what was the plan? This is almost like a piece of Germany in Brazil. Just how extensive was the German network there?
I have one document here, an article entitled Spies Rounded Up in Brazil. The Brazilian police have rounded up 36 Germans, including a former German army officer described as the director of German espionage in the state of Rio Grande, which is where the town of Cassino is located. That's extremely interesting. We see German espionage in the town of Cassino during the Second World War. Even after the war, the communication system can continue to be used for other Nazi-related activities.
During World War II, you had German spies operating in Cassino. He's got an infrastructure here. If we can find evidence of a communications site, it's the perfect place for him to show up and go operational again.
باب تحقیقات را به سمت یافتن تجهیزات پیشرفته‌ای سوق می‌دهد که در گزارش افشا شده FBI که از حضور هیتلر در کاسینوی برزیل است خبر می‌دهد.
This FBI document gives us specificities. I mean, he's giving us step after step and which way to turn.
Yeah, let's walk that and find out what there is there. Was it possible that this location that's described very specifically in the report, there was an antenna there? 70 years later, most likely this thing was destroyed, but that doesn't mean we can't follow the directions in that report and see what we end up with. Let's go find that tower.
There's a route about where their communication tower could be. To me, it's like a treasure map. You know, if we find the X, you know, X marks a spot. Yeah. There's going to be some serious treasure at the end of it.
تیم کندی عضو نیروهای ویژه ایالات متحده و مترجم محلیش خبر از وجود تجهیزات ارتباطی پیشرفته‌ای میدهند که در گزارشات FBI به آن اشاره شده است.
The informant from the FBI documents wrote some very specific directions about where we could find this communication array. It says, when standing in front of the hotel, take the first boulevard to the right. Casino is laid out pretty straightforward. They build the roads north and south and east and west. So we can take this report at face value and know that these directions are never going to change. Come out of the hotel, first left narrow street. We describe this as a narrow street. Well, this says walk this way for 5 to 7 minutes. And the equipment may be observed.
Yeah.
We're at 5 minutes right now.
Yep.
این مسیر گروه را به خیابانی در همسایگی میرساند که خانه‌های جدید زیادی در آن ساخته شده است.
And walking 5 to 7 minutes brings us, you know, to this block. We were screwed because they wrecked what we're looking for and built something on top of it. Every little secret just buried on another layer of different permits, leases, different renters, different owners. I got to keep digging. I want to start knocking on doors. I want to start talking to people.
Nós estamos querendo conhecer um pouquinho da história dessa área.
Essa é a minha casa. Isso aqui era zona rural e uns 10 anos atrás eles lotearam.
She said it is by only one person, that it is separated like a small piece.
Yeah, subdivided.
Subdivided.
So this was all owned by one person?
E era aquela casa da esquina ali, dá para notar que é uma casa diferente, ainda permanece.
Tá bom, muito obrigado.
Within the first few people that we talked to,
Okay, thank you.
we already started kind of getting a hint. Right here, this house right here, there was one person that we needed to talk to.
تیم به خانه‌ای می‌رود که مالک آن زمانی صاحب کل ناحیه‌ای بوده است که در گزارش FBI آمده.
Bom dia, podemos falar um segundo? Meu nome é Casimiro.
Prazer, Guilherme.
Tim.
Nós estamos querendo algumas informações a respeito da história dessa área.
Sim, essa casa, em realidade, não sabe bem.
His grandfathers bought this house, and in maybe 1950, and they bought from the German people.
His family bought this from a German family?
Yeah.
Wow. It was just like a beacon of this could be the place.
Teria algum dos seus avós, alguma pessoa que daquela época, da compra da casa, que ainda esteja vivo?
Com certeza, tem a minha tia, que inclusive é proprietária. Ela pode prestar informações, não tem problema bem mais. Eu posso fazer o contato, inclusive ela está por aqui.
That would be fantastic.
Minha tia, Clélia.
جرارد برای گفتگو با عمه مالک فعلی به گروه ملحق می شود. هنگامی که این ملک در ابتدا خریداری شد، او زن جوانی بود.
When your father bought this property, what did it look like around this house?
O resto tudo era vazio, era quarteirão vazio.
Around it was empty area. There's no more house around here.
No one in your family ever came across any cables or wires or antennas anywhere around this house or the property?
Não, absolutamente nada.
Absolutely nothing.
What can you tell us about the people that owned it before your family?
Eu só sei que ele era alemão, que depois achavam que ele era nazista.
The guy that was living here, they're supposed to be Nazist. When her father bought this house, they keep all the magazines here with the information about the German army, like photos on tanks and Hitler photos.
So your family moved here. In the house, it had Nazi paraphernalia?
Sim.
My job coming to Brazil was to corroborate an eyewitness account. We did more than that. The FBI files led me directly to a house that was owned by a Nazi.
Do you remember the name of the people who owned the house before your father bought it?
O proprietário só era o Sander.
Sander.
Yep.
Hi, Thais, can you hear me? We're a house and casino, which seems was owned in the early 1940s by a family or a man called Sanders.
جرارد با دکتر تاپس کاپلو، مورخی که تحقیقاتی گسترده درباره حضور نازی‌ها در برزیل انجام داده است، تماس می‌گیرد.
Yes, in fact, there's a file. Sanders as a member of the Nazi Party. He was arrested because he had some suspicious activities.
So you know he was a member of the Nazi Party?
He collaborated with another fellow here for installation of a radio.
That's really good information. Thank you very much. At least we know that the guy who owned this house had links, serious links to Nazi intelligence. The house, which fits the ex-Nazi spot bit we've been looking for, was owned by a Nazi spy. We've struck gold.
It's 4 satellites, couriers are inefficient. Somebody like Adolf Hitler needs to set up reliable communications, otherwise he's nothing.
بابر و دکتر جانسن سج مدارک به دست آمده از تحقیقات گروه را در کاسینوی برزیل مرور می‌کنند. بنابر گزارشات FBI، هیتلر 2 سال بعد از به اصطلاح مرگش در آنجا و در نزدیکی تجهیزات ارتباطی قدرتمندی دیده شده است.
We followed the directions in the FBI file. It took us right to a house.
And the original owners were not only were Germans, but were Nazis. That Nazi paraphernalia was found in the house, and we find out that that owner of that house was arrested for a crime none other than espionage.
The evidence is continuing to pile up. When you're dealing on 70-year-old leads and you find this kind of confirmation, it's big. Now, this is a hotbed of Nazis in Casino, an extensive network of Nazi intelligence officers, and it's the right kind of environment that Hitler would look for. According to the reports, Hitler's moving north and has the means to communicate with people. But the radio's never the end game, it's the beginning of the game. And this is 47. The guy presumably is healthy. He's still not in a position to show himself publicly, but what does he do? You're not going to launch a conquest of the world from Casino, Brazil. What's in the plans? Is there anything in all the files which would suggest plausibly what he was up to?
باب و جان با تکیه بر اینکه هیتلر میتوانست در 1947 در برزیل بوده باشد و با حرکت به سمت شمال امید بازگشت به قدرت را در سر داشته، صدها گزارش افشا شده را به دنبال مقصد احتمالی بعدی هیتلر زیر و رو می‌کنند.
You know, we can look to a document here dated May 22nd, 1948. This places Hitler in Bogota, Colombia. Hitler, 2 German physicists, and 2 pilots traveled by a plane. They carried with them secret plans for the B-3 skyrocket bomb and the complete record of the German nuclear investigation. They landed the planes in a flying field in Bogota. Once they landed, the pilots burned the planes and the remains were submerged in the nearby marsh.
It does answer the question what a madman would do to regain power. Hitler arriving with nuclear scientists, burning the airplane, but they got plans for the V3 and nuclear warheads. Talk about, you know, raising the tone on all of this.
در 1939 آلمان یک پروژه سری را برای ساخت سلاح‌های هسته‌ای نازی آغاز کرد. دانشمندان نخبه مسئولیت این کار را بر عهده داشتند و هزاران نفر از آنها در نهایت بعد از جنگ به ایالات متحده فراخوانده شدند تا روی برنامه‌های آمریکا کار کنند. با وجودی که عملیات مخفیانه انجام میشد، باور بر این بود که بمب‌افکن نازی‌ها در آمریکا و موشک V3 سلاح‌های بالقوه با برد بی‌سابقه هزاران کیلومتر هستند.
Just look at the map. You've got Colombia. Clearly, a V3, from the designs we know, could go the 2,000 miles and hit the United States in some sort of Hail Mary attack. Is it fantastic? Yeah. But this is Adolf Hitler, and his plan isn't to be the mayor of some village in Argentina. It's to strike the main enemy, the United States. It was the United States which brought down the Third Reich. And only once the United States was brought down could the Fourth Reich come. This may seem something out of this world, crazy, but if you and I had been talking a couple of years before 9/11 that this was possible to hijack American airplanes and knock down the World Trade Center, you immediately dismiss it. In fact, the FBI did dismiss these reports. So many of these attacks on the United States are aspirational, and so few of them work, but that doesn't mean that our enemies aren't planning them. This is the one specific thing, is an airplane that flew these guys in and pushed off into the swamp. I sure the hell want to be in Colombia if we go there and find something, anything to substantiate this report. Big story, big evidence. I want to see it myself. This is what it all comes down to.
Great to see you.
باب و جان 50 طبقه بالاتر از کلانشهر بوگوتا با عضو نیروهای ویژه ارتش ایالات متحده تیم کلدی و مترجم محلی آنها دیدار می‌کنند تا جستجوی هواپیمایی را آغاز کنند که بنابر گزارش FBI هیتلر را به 3000 کیلومتری ایالات متحده رسانده است.
I didn't realize how expansive and sprawling the city is.
It has changed a lot. It was very, very different from what it was 60, 70 years ago. All that part, it didn't exist. I mean, that was green, absolutely green, okay? But as the city started growing, people would just simply drain or fill the marshes to build houses, roads, and everything. So it's really difficult to find that marsh.
So we're looking for a needle in a haystack. We need to dig into those documents, at least try to find a few options and possibilities that we can go either ground-proof, or eliminate.
And then start looking for the aircraft. You had to have had some infrastructure that he could have used. He didn't come here for tourism, and he didn't think history was over for him. He came here to plan something. Hitler was an opportunist, and Colombia was a great opportunity.
در 1948 کلمبیا در مرکز یک دهه بحران، آشوب سیاسی و رکود اقتصادی بود که به نام لا ویولنسیا یا دوره خشونت شناخته میشد و علت آن افزایش تنش میان دو حزب سیاسی حاکم بود. شورش‌های گسترده‌ای در سرتاسر کشور آغاز شد و در نهایت به شهر مرکزی بوگوتا راه پیدا کرد و جان 180,000 انسان را گرفت.
It was lunacy at the time, but he was looking for that wedge, which would have been chaos, which would have been Colombia.
Frightening. Now we just have to find the forensic evidence to support that he was here.
We find that airplane, and we've broken this thing completely open.
We have a lot more digging to do.
با وجود بیش از 1500 کیلومتر مربع زمین در بوگوتا، گروه به اداره نقشه‌کشی شهری سری میزند. آنها به امید دست پیدا کردن به مردابی که شاید هواپیمای هیتلر را در خود جای داده، با خبیر رینکن مدیر ارشد آن ارتباط برقرار می‌کنند.
We are looking for a very specific area.
We kind of have characteristics, like landmarks. The first one was that it was below 68th Avenue or Street, and in a marsh called Santa Maria, in an area called La Florida.
Esta es la 68.
This will be the 68.
Bajamos.
We go down.
Y aquí encontramos el humedal de Santa María del Lago.
And this is the marsh of Santa Maria del Lago.
Right here?
Right here, this one.
Sí.
Are there any other lakes or marshes that are called Santa Maria?
No.
It's beneath 68.
Yeah.
And Santa Maria is...
It's the exact name of the lake.
Yeah. It's amazing.
We're on something right here. Who owned this property in 1948?
Okay, so near the lake was the country house of Alfonso López Pumarejo, who was the president of Colombia.
The way that these Nazis operate is you have wealthy, powerful men. They're using their leverage and their power to facilitate the movement of Nazi personnel. It's a playbook that they've been using throughout all of South America, and now here in Colombia, we're finding that exact same standard. Have you ever heard any stories about people trying to hide things in the marsh?
Cuando era niño,
When I was a kid,
viví cerca al humedal.
I lived close to the marsh, and people said that there was a plane there that at one time was submerged.
What do you mean a plane?
Yeah, it was like a myth, like a...
Era una historia.
It was a story.
Yeah, but still, it's not a story. Near my house, there's lakes, but we don't say there's planes in them. It's not a common story.
Nobody did any research or tried to investigate.
You don't land an airplane in a rural strip and push it into a lake for the hell of it. It just doesn't happen. Even though this is a 70-year-old investigation, this is one hell of a breakthrough. The possibility that Adolf Hitler arrived in Colombia and disappeared here in 1948. There's something here, seriously. It really is a swamp, isn't it?
Yeah.
گروه به مرداب سانتا ماریا میرسد که میتواند همان جایی باشد که شایعات محلی و گزارشات FBI آن را محل فرود هواپیمای هیتلر و غرق شدن این هواپیمای سوزانده شده در مرداب میدانند.
We've heard reports about planes being ditched into this marsh. We are a week's drive from the American border. Right here, there was a potential threat to the United States of a nuclear attack. Have you ever looked for anything that's been gone for 50 years?
Yeah. Hunted for planes that have been gone for 50 years in the same type of environment.
رگان لیپینسکی کارشناس اکتشاف دریایی است که به گروه ملحق شده و به دستگاه دریافت امواج مغناطیسی مجهز است که با استفاده از امواج صوتی تصاویری روشن به دست می‌دهد.
We're talking about a small airplane.
If it's burned, that steel should have maintained itself.
Some sort of integrity.
Right.
Reagan's the best in the business. He's truly a specialist in his field. He can find things that are inches in size in muddy, silt-filled lakes. He's the go-to guy.
در حالی که جان آماده بررسی شبکه احتمالی نازی‌های حامی هیتلر در کلمبیا است،
We'll see you guys later.
Okay.
بقیه اعضای گروه دستگاه دریافت امواج صوتی را آماده جستجوی 8000 متر مربع از مرداب به دنبال هواپیمای غرق شده می‌کنند.
Let's do this. Let's get to work. I have Regan here. We have the equipment, we have the technology to absolutely definitively know if there's something in a body of water or not. I want to get out and find our target.
All right, towfish is in.
کف مرداب پر از پوشش گیاهی متراکم است. در نتیجه گروه برای کاوش آب به جای موتور از طناب استفاده می‌کند.
Speed fine?
Speed's fine.
When you're going to look for something, there's a certain element of excitement.
You have tree roots.
Some anxiousness, some anxiety, you know. There's an energy.
We got a small little target here.
We're gonna go find something at the bottom of this marsh.
در آن سوی بوگوتا، جان با دیونل بونیتس، کارشناس تاریخ هوانوردی کلمبیا دیدار می‌کند.
Hola, ¿cómo está usted? You're not going to land a plane into a country where there isn't a Nazi infrastructure that would support, provide intelligence, provide logistics, and through research, we uncovered an aviation company known as Skata, which is alleged to have had connections with Germany. What I'd like to know a little bit right now is about Skata.
Colombia tenía un problema muy grave sobre el transporte.
Yeah, Colombia had a really serious transportation problem. So the Colombian government set out to start this airline in order to solve that problem.
اسکاتا که به نام انجمن هوایی کلمبیا آلمان شناخته می شود، در 1919 به وسیله گروهی از خلبانان آلمانی شکل گرفت که بعد از خدمت در جنگ جهانی اول به کلمبیا آمده بودند. این انجمن برای کمک به جابجا کردن کالا و افراد در جاده‌های ناهموار به وجود آمده بود و در نهایت به دومین خط هوایی تجاری جهان و اولین در قاره آمریکا تبدیل شد.
Were members of the Nazi Party involved in this company at all?
Más Herbert Boy, que era alemán también, a él fue quizá también inculpado de nazi.
Herbert von Boy. He was German. He was accused of being a Nazi.
What happened to him?
He had a family here. He started a family here.
So he stayed here in Colombia then? And when did he die?
1973. His grave is here in the German cemetery.
Herbert Boy was involved in the aviation company, Skata. He had been suspected of having been a member of the Nazi Party. At first blush, that's a forensic red flag, and it requires more investigation.
گروه به آن سوی شهر به یک قبرستان آلمانی و محل آرامگاه هربرت بوی می رود.
Colonel Boy.
Oh, yeah, Colonel. So here we have Colonel Boy. But the question really remains in my mind whether or not he ever had any contacts with people who were Nazis in Germany.
Había nacido en la misma región donde nació Joseph Goebbels.
Goebbels? Joseph Goebbels?
Sí.
The same Joseph Goebbels who was in the Fuhrer bunker with Adolf Hitler?
Sí. Obviamente que tenía que tener alguna relación.
There's a clear relation because during his childhood he went to school with Joseph Goebbels.
Joseph Goebbels was the minister of propaganda. He's basically the person who's responsible for enforcing the Holocaust. That's a critical associate. Did Skata continue to exist in the 1940s?
No, the Colombian president decided to imprison Nazis.
Just to be clear, the president was rounding up and arresting people that he believed to be members of the Nazi Party. Is that correct?
Sí, el mismo.
In the early 1940s, Colombia joined the Allied powers, and at that time, the president of Colombia was rounding up people who were suspected of being Nazis. One moment, okay?
Sí.
Permiso.
Momento.
the marsh, the Santa Maria marsh that Bob and Tim and others are at right now.
Yes, yes.
The president owned that property. Why in the world would they land on the property or the land of the president who's locking them all up and throwing them in jail?
That doesn't make sense at all.
The marshland that we're searching right now is not the right location. The president was rounding up people that he suspected of being Nazis, and he's locking them up, he's imprisoning them. If they were to come in and land there, they would have been landing in a trap. We need to be looking someplace else, and I think we need to let the team know this is not a logical place.
Somewhere else. I mean, not here. I mean, definitely it's not here.
Okay, I'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
جانسنسیچ در حال بررسی حامیان نازی که بنابر گزارشات FBI میتوانستند به ورود هیتلر به بوگوتا کمک کنند به مسئله مهمی پی میبرد که میتواند مسیر جستجو برای هواپیمای غرق شده در مرداب سانتا ماریا را تغییر دهد.
Bob, it's John.
Hey, John.
Look, let me tell you what we've got over here. One thing is for sure, the land that you're at and where it's alleged that Adolf Hitler and several other Nazis landed, that property was owned by the president of Colombia. But I don't think that's the location. What we learned is that the president was rounding up Germans, people who were suspected of being Nazis. It does allow us to open our eyes. They wouldn't have landed there. This is not the right location.
No, I agree with you. If you're planning in, trying to eliminate all the risk you can, this isn't the place you'd do it.
Right.
Santa Maria, I know that was in the initial report. There are other bodies of water underneath 68th Street, which we need to look at. What I need you to do is go back to the archives and take another look now that we've eliminated this marsh and see where the other possible places are, and let's take them one by one.
Okay. All right then. Okay.
Talk to you. Bye.
جان در جستجوی سایر دریاچه‌هایی که با مرداب مورد اشاره در گزارشات FBI همخوانی داشته باشد به اداره نقشه‌کشی شهر بوگوتا باز می‌گردد.
My job is to be as thorough as I can be. So this document was translated and then it was forwarded to the FBI. So I wanted to go back and take another look at that document, the actual Spanish version, not the translated version. That way we know that we don't really miss anything. Let me explain to you that I have a problem interpreting or understanding something. It's probably best that I read you the sentence in Spanish. Las avionetas en el campo de aviación de la Florida en ese entonces abandonado abajo de la calle 68 Santa Maria.
Ahí podemos tener dos opciones, claro, porque tenemos la avenida Carrera 68 y todo esto es hacia abajo. O al final de la calle 68.
Or at the end of Street 68.
Okay, so, wait a second, at the end?
At the end, yes, at the end.
I don't understand.
Al final.
La palabra is abajo.
Abajo.
So are you saying that the word abajo or abajo de also means at the end of the street?
Yes, this is where they end.
Sometimes words, when they're translated, you can have more than one meaning. If you look at the word tiempo, that means weather, and it also means times. Abajo de in Spanish doesn't always mean below. It could mean at the end of 68th Street. Okay, so the way that I understand this now is if we take 68th Street, take it all the way down to the end.
Yes, that's correct.
It lands directly in the area of La Florida. Lo and behold, when you come out to the end, we come to another marshland that's called La Florida. Well, of course, that's in the document as well. Is it possible to put a boat into this area in La Florida?
No, it's impossible to do that because this is a protected area due to its biodiversity.
But if we are determined, and we can be pretty determined and we endeavor to do something, so would it be possible to...
No.
It's impossible to do that.
Okay, no. This isn't going to be easy. We need a boat out there, whatever it takes.
بابر از ارتباطاتش استفاده می‌کند تا دسترسی گروه را برای تحقیق در مرداب حفاظت شده لا فلوریدا ممکن کند. اینجا ممکن است محل اختفای هواپیمایی باشد که بنابر گزارشات افشا شده FBI هیتلر را به کلمبیا رسانده است.
I know it's a sensitive area, Well, let's make this happen. Thanks.
Parque La Florida.
Yeah, there it is. Park La Florida.
باب، تیم کندی و کارشناس کاوش دریایی رگان لیپینسکی به مرداب لا فلوریدا می روند.
This looks like it, right?
Sí, ingreso, sí, señor. Bueno, señor. Sí, señor, que tiene la autorización para ingresar.
Okay, thanks. We're in.
دسترسی بی سابقه شبانه از جانب اداره اجرایات پارک به آنها داده شده که آب را کاوش کنند، اما تنها 12 ساعت فرصت دارند.
If we find an airplane, it's going to go a hell of a long way in substantiating the U.S. government's reporting that Hitler arrived in Colombia and disappeared here in 1948.
This makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Look at the airport.
We know that there are airstrips around here, so that might have been what was an airstrip now is an airport, which, you know, is close enough for them to drag a plane over this water.
What I like about it is it's remote.
Yeah.
There's no town. So on the surface, this is more promising as far as I'm concerned. Small airplane landing at La Florida would not have excited anybody's interest. Burning an airplane and pushing it into the water is something people would notice. But what we have here is clearly a rural area, and if I had to burn an airplane and put it in the water, it'd be right here.
How are you going to search this?
If you see these three islands, you can see it makes a big rectangle.
Yeah.
That's going to be perfect for our parallel grid search. Back and forth through here. We'll stay on this side first. Once we're finished with that, we'll jump over to the other side of the islands, do another parallel grid search from this island out, all the way to the airport and back.
Yeah.
Let's just get on the water and start searching.
Let's go. I like it.
تیم و ریگن دستگاه دریافت امواج صوتی پیشرفته را آماده می‌کنند و به آب می‌زنند تا جستجوی خود را آغاز کنند و باب از ساحل هماهنگی‌ها را انجام می‌دهد.
Toe fish in, toe fish hooked.
I got the toe fish in the water. We're going to start our first survey area.
Copy that.
See shoreline here. But that's the area that we're covering, and we're looking at 65 feet on either side of the boat.
Look at that one. Yeah, and there's barely anything over here. Yeah.
Yeah, this part of a tree trunk on shore.
How's it looking?
Nothing yet. It looks actually pretty clean.
You know, we're conducting our search, just going back and forth up those lines, not finding anything. But real investigation is about patient work. 20 meters to end a line.
You can probably go ahead and do your turn, keep your track line, and go as far as we can go, and then turn around and we'll cover that.
We finished the first half of our search grid. Now we're starting the second half of this search grid.
Here's our first anomaly.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop the search to measure it yet, but that's definitely man-made.
It's like perfectly round.
Ah, look at this one right here. This right here, we might want to dive on. Holy crap. Keep moving, keep moving. That's a big target. Look at that. That is definitely some type of cage of some sort. That's a big target. It might be the frame of the fuselage.
Holy sh**. Hey, Bob, we're coming in to have a face-to-face, man. We got some good stuff here.
Yeah, come on in.
We got something. It could be a portion of a wing. This is incredible. We might have found exactly what we're looking for. You're not gonna believe this.
You ready? Yeah, let's go.
And just keep watching.
Wow.
Look at that.
Talk about an anomaly.
It is 20 feet long.
Yeah.
And it's 10 feet wide.
There's nothing else out there except this. This isn't a trash dump.
No. The anomaly is just an anomaly until it's on your boat.
Yep. But we need to start prepping to get in the water. We have to ground-proof. We have to get physical eyes on. This is what I've been waiting for. So you did your job. It's my turn. Okay. I'll go do my job.
You have to look at these pictures. It's just amazing. If you're not a believer now, you will be.
There we go.
گروه
Look at that.
یافته‌های دستگاه دریافت امواج صوتی مرداب لا فلوریدا را مرور می‌کنند. ممکن است بقایای هواپیمایی که طبق مدارک افشا شده FBI هیتلر را به بوگوتا رسانده آنجا باشد.
We ready to go? Sonar's back up and running. The towfish is off the port.
تنها 4 ساعت از زمان دسترسی بی‌سابقه گروه به این منطقه حفاظت شده باقی مانده که تیم کندی آماده غواصی در آب‌های گلالود این مرداب کلمبیایی است.
Then I'm going to try to film it for a second so we can see it in place.
Okay.
متمورو، غواص کمکی و ریگن لیپینسکی، کارشناس کاوش، تیم را همراهی می‌کنند.
So that's our tentative plan. You know, it's already the afternoon. The air temperature is dropping rapidly, but most importantly, we're losing daylight. This is what we're doing. We'll go identify the object, and then we're going to figure out how we're going to recover it.
Okay.
I could go in here and find real physical evidence that Hitler could have been here and lived out his life in South America. It's time to get in the water.
3, 2, 1.
Right when we drop in the water, it's this very dark brown, dark yellow tint.
Kids, yeah, it's horrible.
It goes from being able to see 3 feet to 0 visibility, I mean, not even an inch, the moment that we touch the bottom. These are the worst conditions that you can dive in.
I'm standing on it. That's a very big piece.
Can you feel the shape of it?
This is squarish, it's a structure. It's metal, but it's not very thick because it moves under my weight.
So we have a wing shape.
I don't know. The visibility is so bad. You can't see anything. We're gonna have to check it out more thoroughly. This is enormous.
You know, it's covered in muck, but the visibility of the water is so limited, it's going to be very problematic to be able to see or discern what it could be. It's aluminum. We start finding pieces of metal, you know, rope, and you can see pieces of like what looks like riveting. So we started pulling pieces to the surface to try to figure out exactly what it is down there.
There's wood. You know what this is? There's rock.
So we got 15 minutes of daylight. It's time to get out of the water. Obviously, it was a major disappointment that it wasn't what we were looking for or hoping for. It was a closed door. It was a dead end. And that's super frustrating.
Bob, it's Tim. We dove on the anomaly. It's not what we're looking for.
Yeah, come on back in. We're losing light and looks like we're getting some weather. We got to call it off. But I think the airplane could be out there. So much of this stuff we've looked at has turned out to be true. But we have to look at the totality of that evidence, not just one lead. I'm looking at this from an intelligence perspective. I'm looking at the big picture. There is no evidence that Hitler died in the bunker. But what we do have, no doubt in my mind, is more evidence that Hitler could have gotten away than there is for his death. In Berlin, we discovered an unknown tunnel. Look at this. Connecting his bunker to Tempelhof Airport, where there was a mass exodus of airplanes. If I had to move Hitler out of Berlin, I can guarantee you 99% I could have gotten him out. I could have gotten him to Spain. In Spain, there was more evidence.
Is that a swastika carved on that? You gotta be kidding me.
A monastery where there were eyewitnesses.
He saw here with his eyes Hitler. Here? Yeah.
And then in Vigo, Spain, he could have gotten in a U-boat, no problem.
What happened to the sub?
They don't know. In Argentina, the evidence piled up like I've never seen before. Scuttled U-boats, a compound in Bariloche with a secret bunker, his presence at the Hotel Eden, where he came in contact with a well-known Nazi munitions king. From there, it seemed like he slipped into the jungle, where we found a compound. Whoa. Nazi artifacts. It was clearly meant for a high-value target. And then when he came back on the radar, he came back with seemingly incredible plans. fall of Berlin was not the end of this Nazi ideology. They weren't going to stop.
It's clear. I mean, I'm really pleased with what we found. Could he have made it here? Absolutely. And the evidence that the team gathered supported this.
This is better evidence than we have from the bunker. When I began this investigation, I was completely skeptical. I assumed, without any doubt, that he died in the bunker. Frankly, I don't think a guy like Adolf Hitler gives up that easily. If he's got a way out, wouldn't he take it? He went for the long shots. He always went for the long shots. And, you know, I find this, frankly, appalling that the historians have left it at that assumption that I've lived with my whole life. We're fed history and expected to believe it. Based on what? History books say, without a shadow of a doubt, that Hitler died in the bunker. I can safely say, with the evidence I've uncovered, that that's not true. History is not fixed as we've received it.
Yeah.
I will never stop looking for the truth. I never take facts at face value, and I never will.